Toxic. She call me toxic.
Yeah, I bet.
She call me toxic.
So cliche,
Swear I am not shit.
but I'm not though.
She call me toxic cause I won't simp out. Never get phased or react to a big mouth. She call me toxic.
She call me toxic.
She call me toxic.
Oh wow.
You doing all this, but at the end of the day, they don't care about you either. You still a nigga to them.
But that's because they come over here with the better life ideal. They come over here thinking that because I'm an immigrant, I'm gonna get better services, and that's exactly what happens. They get pushed in front of the people, the African Americans who have already been here, and it shows because if they come with their family, it's just they just family, and then they're not gonna interact with other people unless it's people of that culture. Like they'll be quiet around groups of people until they find somebody that speaks the same language as them, and then they're like, oh, I can relate to you, so we're now cool, so now I'm gonna look out for you and you're gonna look out for me, and we're just gonna take everything that this government is giving us and utilize it the best way that we can. And that's why they even send money back home, because they're still in their culture. They're not here for us, they're here for themselves, and we don't have anybody that's here for us. We're not even here for ourselves, so it's hard to be like, we always have to depend on somebody else. We gotta go to Chinese food, we gotta go to Chinese store to get food. They not eating that shit. We gotta go to the Spanish spot to get food. We gotta go over here to get food. We gotta go to somebody else's culture. We eating tacos and all this other stuff. What's American? What's African American food?
I feel attacked because when you first came on, I told you I was eating tacos. I feel attacked.
Bro, don't tell me.
Yeah, I'm out of shape. Yeah, I'm
I took my what is
African American food
name my
is
African
soul
American dish
food.
besides macaroni and cheese.
Collard greens, candy
Soul food.
yams,
Okay.
seasoned
Yeah.
chicken,
Yeah. Yeah.
seasoned
Okay.
chicken. Okay,
Okay. Soul food, which is
cornbread.
cool. But there are not enough black people coming together to have 17. You can't.
Nah,
It's
you're
a
right.
Chinese store on
You're right.
every block. Where are the soul food spots? It's a Chinese
Um,
restaurant, a liquor store, a deli, and
you,
the
you
deli is owned by
understand?
the
You know what's
Akis
crazy?
or the Puerto
Where
Ricans,
where
but
where's
ain't
the
no
black
black people
corner
on the
stores at,
streets.
bro?
That's what I'm saying. There's no black
They're
people on the
not.
streets.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Like niggas be investing in the wrong, bro. Like, can you imagine if you out the hood and buy all the corner stores, nigga?
no.
facts. And you
Nigga,
know
you'll
what's
be
crazy
balling out
because
here, nigga. You'll be a
Facts.
You know why?
millionaire, nigga.
because me
Facts.
me me me.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
nigga, yeah. But no, I'm talking about,
I'm
I'm talking
from
about a
Harlem.
real.
Y'all know I'm from Harlem. So like I've studied. Harlem was that. Harlem in the north was the black Mecca. You wanted to get anything, you came to Harlem. You wanted to be amongst your people. We had the most black business owners.
Yeah.
The Harlem Renaissance was a creative, renaissance, music, fashion, still fashion, but fashion, music, business owners. And to see what it is now, and Breeze, you know what I'm talking about. You going two
They
fifth now?
it's
It's
you know
it's
what's worse than
fighting
Two Fifth
down.
though? You know what's worse than Two Fifth? 149th and Third Avenue.
Yo,
149th and Third Avenue is the central. I'm talking about it just stank as soon as you come out of the train station.
Yo, like I was on 16th and Lennox probably about 2 years ago, and this white lady was just jogging. I'm like, yo, what, you feel safe enough in Harlem that
Mm-hmm.
you can just I never seen a white person jogging in Harlem.
Yep.
That
Yep.
shit was
Facts.
mind-boggling to me. I'm like,
Facts.
Gentrification.
Yeah.
yeah, and
And
it's like,
they're doing it to the Bronx too.
yeah, and that and
Been
that's where Alpha was saying, like, where's the black corner stores? Where's the
yeah.
black this? Every time we
Right.
do it,
Where the
we
black
don't
Everything
farmers
stick
shuts
market
down.
at?
together. Yeah, we don't stick together and hold our assets. We're
Mm-hmm.
quick to sell our assets, and a lot of the
That
times
part.
when we sell our assets, and I
They
get it.
make more money after they sell
No,
it
because
after we sell it to
we
them.
idle a lot of people idol rich white people and don't want
Because
to really like
you don't have a
because
enough black role models.
exactly because all we see is these white people and Gucci and shit. So we like, oh, I'm gonna go get some Gucci. I'm
And
gonna
they
go get
racist.
and then like, no, bro.
They don't even make clothes for you. They make clothes for their people. But y'all beasting people be beasting to wear them, not even understanding like this was
Like
not made for you.
Jordan made Jordans. Literally, he said out his own mouth, he made Jordans for white people to
White
He
buy
kids.
never
his
said
shit.
that. He never said that.
Oh, he
That
never
is a
said
lie.
that.
He
Oh,
never
okay.
said
All
that.
right,
Oh, I'm about
lying.
to
That is
say,
a
cause
lie.
nigga,
No.
I'm about to say, nigga.
What he said, what
Like,
he said was they was trying to bait him into um um sticking with a Democratic politician. It was some type of political
Mm,
race. And
oh, okay.
they asked him about why won't you endorse this person? And he said because Republicans buy sneakers too with a smirk.
yeah.
So they tried to bait him in. Then that's when they
Yeah.
ran with the oh he only he white people this white people that. Just like yo they make memes about Michael Jordan like when they say he buy prisons and it was a white man in Oregon
Yes,
who was
a
really
white Michael
investing in those
Jordan.
private prisons. Yeah,
Name
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jordan. Like, I
yeah,
was
like
like,
you gotta watch that shit, man. Like yo they and look the people who go at Michael Jordan the most
That's
are
what
right.
I'm saying. Like
And it's
we
like
do not
yo
defend our people. We always be like, "You did something wrong, didn't you? You got to
that
be on this
oh,
side. You got to
that
be doing
you
some."
you and you know what I did? That's why I stopped publicly bashing Kanye.
Mm,
Kanye says a lot of shit that I do not agree with,
mm-hmm.
but I don't publicly bash Kanye because anytime a white person or a person of another ethnicity go jumps out the window as a celebrity, oh, every their people got their
Hmm.
back. Like so, you won't see me like publicly bash Ye. I just be like, yo, I ain't fucking with what Ye told. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I leave it at that. Like when he made them Adolf Hitler comments, I was like, yo, you're wild, bro, you're wild. But I'm not gonna jump out the window on Ye. Like
You can't turn
it
your
is
back
what it
on
is.
them.
Exactly that, and that's my thing. Like we be so quick to attack our own, and then
Mm-hmm.
everybody, including people that look like us but who really ain't with us, shit on us. They give us our ass to kiss, and that be my thing. It's like, yo, when are we gonna stop letting people piss on us and tell us it's raining?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tag you in because I know you got some shit to say on this topic.
Who, me? Oh,
Yeah,
um, I'm just listening, taking it all in. So on the first one where you said, "Do anybody get the N word pass?" Absolutely not. But like Bree said, down here in the South, they'll let you know, which honestly I respect, because I know where you
Mm-hmm.
stand. I know what it is. I can make a conscious choice whether I want to, connect with you in this way or not, or go in this territory or X, Y, and Z. I can make that an educated decision on what kind of situation I'm in when I'm dealing with people who will outwardly let you know how they feel about you. It's the ones who don't that you have a problem with, the ones that don't like you at their workplace and they trying to get you fired and canceling your promotions and all that kind of stuff that I can't deal with. But I would never give anybody the open pass to um use that word. Um, Even though I say it, nigga, you know what I'm saying? I say it. I try not to use it as much because I can express myself easily differently, but I do on occasion. And I would be like, I can't think of the actor's name when he was on
hey y'all, I'm doing trap shit right now, so my camera will be off for a
there.
minute.
Right. So when the white dude was like, we can't say that word, why can't we say it? And the black dude was like, say it. Go ahead and say it. If you want to say it so bad, just say it. And he would not say it. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, so I would never give anybody a pass to say it in the I didn't really know about, well, I don't know anything about that podcast really, but I did see the pictures floating around. And of course, off top, it looked like you automatically assume it's a bunch of black African American women. And why do we assume that? Because they all look like African American women with the lashes, with the hair, with the way they dress. So I was telling Bills earlier, I was like, I find it very crazy. And well, let me rephrase. They let him say that because it doesn't affect them. It doesn't have the history, it doesn't have the meaning, it doesn't have the connotation for them that it does for us. The Black American
Mm-hmm.
experience is a very unique one. Now, there was slavery and people were slaves and stuff like all throughout history, but the Black slave experience here in America was extremely unique to this country in a sense that I can't really think. Well, maybe because I don't know enough. I haven't traveled enough. Maybe I haven't read enough. But I don't know of anywhere in the world where people are automatically labeled with those kind of terms and hated when they come over here. First of all, um, I remember in the war for Ukraine when the United States was letting refugees from Ukraine into the country, and they had to put out the president of Ukraine put out a warning to any black people that was helping, transport or transition of Ukrainian refugees into the country because the Ukrainians could call them niggers and be racist toward them. And I'm like, well, how can Ukrainians be racist toward Black Americans where Ukrainians ain't never? They're Ukrainians. Like y'all live over there, close to Russia. So how are y'all racist towards Black people over here that you've never had any cultural or national or ethnic connection to, right? So our experience here is extremely unique because it's also globally judged, right, by our skin color.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at that video and then finally finding the context of it that he's a white supremacist and stuff like that, which I find it also odd that a white supremacist would be so comfortable um engaging with Black people or people of color, people of dark skin, because they're not American Black, but Black people of different nationalities and ethnicities. um like what was his purpose, because a lot of times those girls should have been offended too, because a lot of times white supremacists, they don't like Black people, but they'll certainly screw Black women. Happen all the time. um and for them to give him the pass to use that word, it wasn't even really a pass for them to give because they don't have any real connection to the experience and stuff of
Mm-hmm.
that word. And it kind of surprised me in the video when he said it and they were like, "Oh, you said it." Like, "Oh my gosh, you really said it." Like, why are y'all surprised? And why are y'all giving a reaction? One, when they practically begged him to say it, and two, it has absolutely no connection to you or your history. So I personally feel like we absolutely should separate ourselves from um, non-American people of African descent, right? Because they just don't have any idea of the Black American historical experience over here when it comes to slavery and where a lot of this stuff comes from. I was telling Bills earlier in the chat, I said is very prevalent, right? Like Sugar Hill, when Wesley Snipes was talking to the the drug dudes and stuff from the plugs from another country, they kept calling him a cotton, a cotton, a cotton, a cotton. And he asked them finally, he was like, "What is a cotton? What does that mean? What are you talking about?" And he was like, Black American, a cotton picker. That's how they look at Black Americans,
Associate.
associate us and stuff like that. So he also told me about a speed dating situation where an African woman got upset because an American Black man wasn't feeling her, and she, which is crazy to me, she bust out with, "Well, at least my people weren't slaves." And I said, now if he'd have turned around and said, "Well, at least I didn't have a fat belly and flies on my eyes," because that's how Africans was depicted to us growing up. She'd have
Mm-hmm.
had a whole breakdown and tried to make him go viral and all that kind of stuff if he'd have said that based off of what we grew up knowing, learning about Black people on them little feed the children commercials and stuff. So, I'm
I hated them
I
commercials.
was just talking about
you know
those
what I'm saying?
commercials.
Because I could have been
I
like, well, at least
hate them shit,
at least
yo.
people ain't think that I could live off 38 cents. You know what I mean? We could go back and forth all
What's
day.
it? What's the song? In the mind of an age.
Ever since I was little, I always said, yo, them cameras cost a lot of money. Like, you over there with thousands of dollars of camera equipment.
Y'all can't
Can't
feed
feed
these
this
people.
churn.
Why y'all want me to help?
Exactly.
Why they want me to
Exactly.
help?
What my little 30
I
sis gonna do?
Sell that fucking camera. Exactly.
said,
Sell that damn
nigga
camera
said
It
for
helped
a
them
and,
dollar
and,
a
learn.
and,
day, you
and
can
buy
adopt
the
a kid.
whole
But yeah,
village.
Adopt
Buy
a
the
I
whole
kid?
definitely
village.
think we should be
Like, and
separated because that first of all that experience is nothing to be played with. Like, and when you really start learning the great lengths that this country and the lead people in charge and the stuff that they went through and they're still going through to oppress us as a people, keep us separated, keep us disenfranchised as a people, it's like it's really nothing to play with. It's I understand that as black American black people as a whole, we got a lot of work to do, right? Um, the issue is so does every other community, except they don't put their business out in the streets like we do, right? And like Bill said, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, Kanye was wrong, but we team up with people like everybody dropping him from the businesses and everybody's like Kanye's messed up, and I don't agree with everything Kanye says. There's some things I absolutely do agree with what he says, and I understand where he's coming from, but he's ours and we're supposed to back him up. And we often at times are leaving people out to dry too much. And then we wonder why these people won't use their money to build schools and help improve educational systems and build grocery stores and give to the community and give back and do all that. We wonder why they don't do those things because we act the way that we act. However, I do feel like we need to separate ourselves because, like I said, our experience is extremely unique. But I also told Bills I traveled the world in the military, and one thing you will find in every country is a huge section of the population that acts like Black American people. There are hip hop clubs in Japan, and even though they're behind, a little bit in the fashion and the times, like there's always a sector in places where people they're the Black American people of their country dress like us, try to talk like us, try to dance like us, try to move like us, get girls like us, want to have big booties and stuff like that, like us. I remember being in Chile, and we was kind of like at a casino bar type place, and the dudes kept staring at us, the black girls, and like laughing and pointing and like giggling and stuff. So I'm trying to ask them, because I could speak a little Spanish at the time or whatever. I could talk to them enough to figure out what they was talking about, and they was like, "Oh, he likes you. He thinks you're pretty. Your butt is big." And I was like, "Well, where did they get that from?" And he like pointed to something on their phone, and he was like talking about BET. So they watch BET, and this is their impression of Black Americans. And the men, they think all of the Navy boys, chains and jewelry and stuff, was basketball players or rappers. So they love our culture all around the country, but they don't love us. They'll continue to take, they'll continue to act, they'll continue to be, and just like those non-American black people and those things, they got on the chains. I bet every single one of them carry on like Black Americans on a daily basis, right? And they lean on the fact and they take pride in the fact that they have their own country's heritage to go back to, and they usually make fun of us because we don't. But all y'all come over here acting like us. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all, all of y'all. I don't care who they are. They trying to get in the clique. They trying to be a part of the gang. They act like us, which in a sense can give us a bad rap too. But we do need to separate ourselves because the incident of slavery is very unique to Black Americans, and it's crazy to watch people who are not Black Americans give people nigger passes and and talk to white supremacists about shit that they'll never be able to relate to. Even if their countries were had slavery in them, even if their countries fought civil wars, to free themselves from the hold of slavery. I don't think any of them had slavery as a stake in this country as violent and as long as America did. And one time we'll get out, whatever. But in the meantime, we should separate ourselves because I would separate myself from anybody who don't respect me and what I've been through and what triggers me and what I got going on in my life, who I am as a person, past, present, and future. If you don't respect me, I'm gonna separate myself from you. And you know, for them to come over here and be trying to live the lives that we live and not respect where we coming from, we should be separated from them. And if we strip that Black American culture from them, if we could take it from them, who would they be over here?
Justina.
exactly.
Yo, hold on. Hold on. Hey, Alpha,
I would
before you
say
Justina
go.
this. I would say this
Valentina.
though.
Trying
I
to get in
feel
where they
I
don't
feel
fit in.
like because like we like even like we saying like other cultures sticking together, like even other black races stick together the same way. You feel what I'm saying? So I feel like I think what needs to happen is like we need to prove ourselves of, like I said, unity. Like we all like African Americans, since we gonna label ourselves like that, African, like the Africans that's in America, or the indigenous people, if you want me to say it, goddamn,
That's a whole nother stuff for a whole nother day.
Mm-hmm.
we need to we need to prove ourselves to these people as a unity, instead of like just trying to go like every other person trying, like we need to come as unity, like hey yo, we got this, we got that.
But we have to prove it to ourselves first.
You see,
Exactly.
yeah,
Because
exactly.
African Americans are a bunch of I don't believe you ass people.
We have we have to do it first so that they feel comfortable doing that shit with us. You feel what I'm saying? Like, cause like you can't go to the plug, right? And this nigga trying to give niggas breaks, and you over here talking about you selling quarters and shit. You feel what I'm saying? Like you can't do that. You feel what I'm
I
saying?
feel like
So
you can't
you
fix your own
like
house being all out in everybody else's
right,
house. Right? If you out in the street at everybody else's house, you can't fix this. You're gonna have problems in your own.
like
So we need to bring it
like
all home, and don't need we also don't need people throwing fuel
Other
on the
people's
fire.
opinions.
Like in the black community, we're trying to put out a fire, right? So and get our shit together. So what you don't need, if they're not going to be a part of it, if Africans and Haitians and Ethiopians and Somalians and all these people, if they're not going to help, they need to mind their
Hmm.
fucking business.
I agree.
They need
exactly, like
to do
you
businesses.
gotta see,
We don't
you gotta
need them
understand.
white supremacists and you know making a mockery of the Black American experience and history and making us look bad because that shit reflect on us. Because when people go and talk to them, they're gonna be like, "Oh, I'm
Mm-hmm.
Haitian.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm
Mm-hmm.
Ethiopian."
So
Like so,
so
but
I'm
context,
half Haitian.
and we're not even doing it.